Welcome back to AZ Off Grid. I am not off grid. I am at home in the desert in my backyard. This video is about a cheap do-it-yourself backyard fire pit. Okay, I put this together about 2 years ago. I got all the materials at Home Depot. Of course, they can be purchased at other hardware stores, Lowe's, True Value, whatever. But I just happen to shop at Home Depot. So this is a very simple backyard fire pit. It requires very little effort, very little knowledge, and it's fairly cheap, believe it or not. So what I did was and this is completely mobile. You can move this anywhere in your yard. Excuse the backyard, it's a little under construction right now. Chopping these damn ficus trees down. So what we have here are landscaping bricks, commonly used for small retaining walls. You can get them just about anywhere. Any kind of hardware store or big box, home store, whatnot. So what I did was, and this, I didn't have this in mind when I decided to build it. I went there to the store, the Home Depot, and I just kind of started grabbing stuff as I saw it and kind of put it together in my mind as I was doing it. So basically what you have is these landscaping bricks. They're cut at an angle on the sides, and with enough of them, it makes a pretty good circle. So I didn't happen to count the bricks beforehand, but I'll go ahead and do it right now. 2, 3, 4. Okay, 10. That's 10 bricks there on top, and I've got three rows of 10. So 30 of those bricks. They're fairly cheap. They don't cost too much. If you notice, again, these are meant for a small retaining wall, so there's going to be a lip here at the back edge, and that's for staggering them, or when you stack them, it pulls them back a little bit as you go up the wall. That's what this lip is for. They're actually meant to be, I believe, turned upside down. And this little edge right here will grab on to the back of the brick below it. But I didn't use it for that reason. So what I did is I took 20 bricks. Let me back up a little bit here. And I made a nice little circle out of those bricks. And I knocked off that edge. Just use a hammer and a chisel, and you can just put your chisel here and hit it with a hammer, and it'll take this little edge right off. It doesn't have to be pretty because you're not going to see it. Anyways, so I went ahead and picked up this little water trough, or whatever you want to call it. It's generally used for, I don't know, livestock and whatnot. It's galvanized little tub you can get at Home Depot. You can get it elsewhere. Pretty cheap. I think it was like 20 bucks, 19 bucks, something like that. Picked that up, and that's my fire pit basically. That's what contains the fire and the flames. So initially I drilled some holes in the bottom just for water drainage, even though we don't get a lot of water out here in the desert. When it does rain, it pretty much only pours. So you got to have some water drainage there, so that doesn't fill up. So drill a bunch of holes in the bottom, and then I set my first row of bricks, set it up, the 10 in a nice circle, and you just place them on the ground. It doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be level exactly. And you just tap them into place with your foot. You go all the way around until they kind of line up. So once I had my first row, my first circle there of bricks, I went ahead and pulled the drum out, and I filled the bottom of that first layer of bricks, probably about, I don't know, 3 inches or so of just sand. You can get a bag of sand at Home Depot or Lowe's or anywhere else. Just pour sand in there. And the reason why I did that was I didn't want to burn the area that I have my fire pit on the rock here or whatever. I didn't want to get too hot. So in case I decide to move this later, I don't want there to be any evidence that there was a fire pit here. So I just layered it with sand. And then I put my little drum here on top of the sand. Just kind of mashed it into the sand. Got it as level as I thought I could see by eye. And then I put my next layer of these landscaping bricks on top. And obviously you stagger them so they're not, you know, you got a solid one here, and then you got 2 here, and then 1 here. So my second row I put on there all the way around. And I also purchased a bag, I think a bag or 2 of pea gravel. Simple pea gravel. And what I did was as I worked my way up, I would fill the gap between the drum and the brick right inside there with pea gravel all the way around. It's just like a barrier between the drum and the brick. It's probably not necessary, but one of the reasons why I did that was it's going to keep that metal drum in place and keep it from moving around, and it'll keep other debris from falling in there, like branches and leaves and twigs, and eventually catching on fire at some point while you got a fire going on in here. It's not necessary for insulation. Obviously you have this thing surrounded by brick, which is plenty insulation for a fire, but it's just to keep it steady, keep the drum from moving around. So I filled it with pea gravel, and then put my third layer of brick on top, and it happened to be, I don't know, it probably goes above the drum about an inch and a half in some spots. And I initially did fill this gap all the way up with pea gravel to pretty much to the top of the drum, but over the last couple of years it's kind of settled and it's dropped about 4 inches. I could probably put some more in there. But this whole deal with the bricks, the drum, and the sand, a bag of sand, and a bag or 2 of pea gravel, I think the total cost out the door was like 80 bucks. That's cheaper than you will spend on any metal backyard fire pit. And in my opinion, this looks way better. It just looks a lot better. I don't know how to say it. It's really nice to throw a couple pieces of wood in here and just light it up in the cool winter evenings here in the desert, which, you know, it's usually about 60 degrees. A lot of you are laughing right now. Yeah, it doesn't get very cold here, but that's all we have, so that's what we run with. It's very cheap, 80 bucks. I plan on putting something like this up at the property. It just looks nice, it's functional. What you can do with this is you can actually get a lid or a grate that goes over top of it, like you would on a metal backyard fire pit, just to put over top to keep the ashes from flying up and, you know, prevent the chance of starting a fire somewhere else. I only light this off in pretty much no wind conditions here, which is rare because it's the desert. There's a lot of wind here, but I only light it off when there's no wind. So I don't have one of those grates to put on top. I would definitely get one of those when I end up putting one of these up at the property. You can get these bricks in many different colors. I just happen to choose this color. It's kind of a black and red marble brick. Just a little bit of contrast from the red slate or sandstone rock that we have here. But that's what I went with. You can get tons of different colors of those bricks. And like I said, they're very cheap. This whole setup was like 80 bucks. And like I said, you can move this. It doesn't have to stay there. None of these bricks are glued down. They're not grouted or mortared in. They're just sitting there. And they've been sitting here for 2 years. And my retarded dogs have jumped on them and rubbed up against them, and they have not moved. So it's completely portable. It doesn't have to stay here. I can move it anywhere in my backyard if I wanted to. You know, it's not a permanent fixture, which is what I like about it. So yep, there it is. That's the do-it-yourself backyard fire pit for under $100. And trust me, anybody can put this together. It's so simple. All right guys, that's about it. I'm gonna let you guys go. Oh yeah, one more thing. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are with your family, your loved ones, spending the holiday. And if you're not, I'm sorry, but hopefully you guys can find something to be thankful for today. That's what today's all about. To be thankful for what you have, and you know, to spend time with loved ones. So all right, I will let you guys go. If you happen to check out my other videos, I appreciate it, and be sure to like, share, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button, you guys, and the little gray bell so you can be notified of other videos. Okay? All right guys, take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.